What is your perspective on patents? We hear about it a lot if you go on like Reddit and you hear just in like the community forums of like people copying different things. Like someone had a photo of a Ronbus paddle that had the SixZero plastic wrap around the grip, like a brand new paddle, and someone received it shipped like that. And you're like, okay, like at what point do we draw the line? Because as a customer, that can get kind of annoying, right? You're like, oh, I thought I was buying something different. But I think people are starting to understand like most of the paddles that are being passed around now, the variance is minimal. Just curious to see and understand like how do you keep people from infringing on patent? How do you go about creating a patent? Like when do you know when to patent something?
Yeah, well, first of all, the patent, you just don't create it, or you just don't say, well, I'm going to patent that. It's in order to receive a patent, it has to be an original idea. And it has to be unique, and it has to have not been done in the past, or there's some variance of something that has been done in the past. And you have to present that to the examiner of the United States or examiner of whatever country you're trying to patent to say, hey, this has never been done. This is a unique idea. And there is, well, let me just say this. There's a couple of types of patents. One, you have a utility patent, and then you have a design patent. Design means that, well, I'm going to patent the way the shape of this cup is, and it's a very basic patent. So, for example, we have this cup, and I'm going to patent that this curve comes here, and you do some design to it, but you're only getting that patent to that specific design. If I come through and I say, well, I'm going to make this square or rectangular, I patent that. But I still have a cup and I still have a handle. In a utility patent, using this same example, is you can say, well, I have a cup, but every time I put really hot coffee, this cup is burning my hand, right? So what I did is I patented this ear that comes out, and now I can hold my hot coffee without me burning my hand. And that is more of a utility patent. That means there's an actual function, and there's a benefit to that. It's not just a design because it looks a certain way. This actually has a function. So now I can drink coffee at, 180 degrees if you want, and without burning my hand. I can hold the cup all day long, and the coffee's going to stay hot, and my hand's not going to burn. So that would be what we consider a utility patent, and that's where I see a lot. And if you look, patent pending, and yeah, they may have patent pending means that they've submitted a patent to the United States Patent Office, USPTO, but that doesn't mean that they're going to get a patent. You have to prove to the examiner, it's like, hey, this is an original idea. It has this function. I'm claiming that this paddle is going to have this performance. And you have to prove it. You can't just say it. It's okay, well, show me your data. Show me what it's doing. And most of the time, and there's a section of a patent that has the claim section. And in there you have to say, okay, I made a paddle that does this. It's made of these materials. It's doing that and that. And you make that, you make 100 claims. The examiner is going to come back and probably knock off 70% of them. So a utility patent is really what you're after. A design patent is, it's cute, right? It's got a different shape, a color, very basic. So a utility patent, in what we do, that's our focus, is we protect not only its function and like our SST, but if you go read through the patent, it's the process too of how we're manufacturing. So, it's the process of this material is used, that material, we apply heat at this moment, and, the ribs expand or this expands. So it's very specific steps on how we create this structure. And the more we do that, the more protection that you have. So in a patent, a utility patent, you want to write it as broad as possible to prevent others from coming in going around it, in a way. So you'll see a lot of patent pending stuff, but actually patented, very different. And that's, I don't know, I think I have maybe 19, 20 patents to date. And then like I said, I applied for 16. I think we'll probably get all 16. I'm pretty confident. We already have some already now. And when you apply for a patent, you're not only applying in the United States, because we're manufacturing in other countries. So you have to patent in the countries where you manufacture and in the countries where you're going to sell your product. Otherwise, somebody can go around it. And that process can get very expensive. It's not a cheap, not only what it costs to build it or to get the patents, you have to maintain it, and then you have to patent in all the multiple countries that you want to sell the product in.
If you have a patent, can you sell like rights to it or something? Like, can you like commercialize it?
Yeah, you can commercialize. So if I could choose to say, okay, well, I've patented this technology, or I created this product. You can license it out, right? Yeah, you can license the patent, or you receive royalties. You say, you license it to another brand, and let's say, Nike approached Gearbox, or a large brand like that approached Gearbox and said, look, we're interested in entering the pickleball space, and we see that you have this patent, obviously have a lot more money than you do. We can take it to market and do a better job. You say, well, yeah, it makes a lot of sense. I show you, I'll let you utilize the technology. Maybe I build it for you so I can make some money on building it. Or if they say, no, we'll build it, well, then you just pay me a royalty from that. So, yeah, patents are a good way to, a lot of people make money that way without having to work. So, for me, I like to do it. Well, we need to do it to protect our technology, because then we have the situation of thermoform and everything else. And then it's kind of touching back on that subject. There's probably only a handful of factories in Asia, could be Taiwan, could be China, Vietnam, that are manufacturing these thermoform paddles. And I know most of the factories, I know the people there, and yes, a lot of the paddles are coming out from the same factories, and people are making it their own by saying, well, I want this shape, and by people I mean brands, right? So I want to start a brand. It's like, well, I contact that company that makes the paddle. I really want to make this paddle, and I want this weight, I want that balance, and they get a few R&D paddles to test. Once they get to the one they like, because they shared it with their friends or test team, they're like, okay, this one's going to be good. And I've heard it, I think you've interviewed a couple people. Like, oh yeah, I created this paddle. I wouldn't say you created the paddle. You requested a certain weight, shape, and feel, I guess. But you really didn't create anything. You're buying something that somebody already created and then just made it more specific to what you're looking for, right?